Alright, so today we are doing the Sonic series, and I am being joined by a guest.
Hey.
Riki, who's been on the channel before.
Hola.
And you've been here for both the main Pokemon list and the Sonic media list back in the day. Been a while since I did that one.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I might go amend that one once the next movie comes out, but we'll see. So we're just doing.
Sonic movie,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sonic movie, Sonic movie 3 wasn't out when we made the
Yeah,
Sonic Media
yeah,
series.
I thought about doing that for 3 as well. Then it's like the tease 4. It's like, yeah, I might as well just fucking wait and do both at once.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that.
I mean, I'm interested to see how they do
Right.
Amy. I'm hoping they do her more like the modern games and not like the adventure era Amy, or at the very least like classic Amy. Hell, I would even be okay with Prime Amy.
Yeah, I just don't want her to be like so Sonic obsessed she's yandere almost.
Yeah, that's like I said. Well, I don't want her to be adventure era Amy.
Yeah.
Anyways, today we're going to be doing the main games. The spin-offs will do doing in another video after this one. I had debated on whether or not to put Shadow the Hedgehog and Knuckles Chaotix in this because they technically are kind of side games, but considering that Knuckles Chaotix birthed several characters that have appeared in the main games multiple times, and Shadow Cross Generations literally continues Shadow the Hedgehog's storyline. So, those games are being counted as main games for this list. Starting us off, the original Sonic. And I've already told my story of how I got into the series when I was a kid on the, shit, I don't remember if I did that on the, media list or if I did that on the console list, but either way, this is, like, one of the first, like, proper video games I had played, because when I was a kid, my first introduction was arcade games at a pizza shop, and after that it was Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
It better not have been.
What?
It's a pizza shop. It better not have been Freddy Fazbear's.
Nah, it was literally a local shop. It wasn't even a chain, and like they usually had the oldest of the arcade games, so I didn't even get a taste of like I don't know, freaking Time Crisis or something in there. But anyways, yeah, I actually don't remember if the first one I actually tried at that daycare that had that NES was Sonic 1 or 2. But 2 was the first one I owned, though I know I played 1 before my parents actually bought me the damn thing. So my views on 1 are a bit skewed, but I know a lot of people dog on it because, you know, you have Green Hill, which set the tone for a lot of the, you know, what Sonic was, but then you kind of came to a halt on Marble Zone, and then it turned into more of a Mario-esque platformer. And from then on, a lot of people say it just kind of stayed that way for the rest of the game, but that's not really true. Like, it never goes back to being, like, Green Hill-esque, but it kind of alternates between more precision platformer and speed-based, because Spring Yard and Starlight do kind of go for more momentum-based, whereas Labyrinth is definitely slow as fuck. And Scrap Yard is, like, closer to Marble, I guess. I don't hate those, like, slower platforming stages. I think they're fun in their own way, but I get why people, like, don't like the fact that it's the juxtaposition between the two styles is, like, really weird at times, especially with Labyrinth, because that's, like, kind of one of the most notorious water levels in the whole series. That being said, for this being the first game, it was good. The visuals were really good for an early 16-bit game. Music was pretty noteworthy, and there are a few tracks in there that are iconic, including Green Hill's theme. The fact that it was this new series and it was just so buttery smooth with its momentum gameplay was kind of I don't want to say it was a trendsetter or like some big revolution like when Super Mario Brothers first came out, but it was something that hadn't really been seen before, And again, it did well enough to birth this whole big ass series. So it had its flaws, like the boss fights were kind of weak, and it was a tad bit short. And Labyrinth Zone does kind of separate the boys from the men. But for what it accomplished, I think it deserves an A tier. A low A, but an A nonetheless. Now,
I have played this game.
yeah, I know you got to play all the classics through Origins, which may not be the best way to experience these games, but if you're not used to these older style,
I actually have, you know how they remade like the old consoles, but they just have a bunch of games on that.
You mean the
I have
minis?
You know, like I guess like kind of almost like MIDI, like the SNES.
Yeah,
stuff.
there's been like a bunch of like mini Segas that were done from different companies, so it's hard to say whether or not those are any good.
I have the Sega Genesis one, and I have Sonic 1 is on there, and I have played it.
Yeah.
I've also played the mobile part of it too.
Yeah.
I have beat Sonic 1, I just didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah, that's fine, because you really don't even need to in Sonic 1. That is kind of another nick between it, because the only thing getting the... And a lot of people don't like that special stage for 1. I think it's okay. I'd rather do it than Sonic 2's. But, there you don't really get anything for it. It's just, all it does is change the end screen from saying try again to Robotnik jumping up and down on a sign that says the end. That's all it does. So, I don't blame you for not getting all the emeralds. I usually do it because I've kind of like gotten used to those special stages. So it's not that big of a deal for me.
I only really know how to do the first one.
Yeah.
I only know how to do the first pistol stage.
It's a learning curve. But again, when I was a kid, I had like plenty of time to replay these games because I didn't have very many games. I also sucked at games because like I did not beat Sonic 1 or 2 first, even though like I had these games before I'd gotten my hands on 3. But yeah, it's a good start for the series. Again, Origins may not be the greatest one to do that with, but you know, if you're not used to these, it's fine. And they do fix some issues. They do fix some bugs. I will give Origins that. 2, on the other hand, like I said, this was my first game, so I am naturally going to be biased for it. I will fully admit that. However, no one can deny it took almost all of Sonic 1's flaws and fixed them. Took what was good about Sonic 1 and made it better. And it was just a more fleshed out game, considering it had... Granted, I don't know if this is technically shorter than the first or not, because that one had 6 stages broken into 3, plus a final stage. Whereas this one had like 8 or 9 broken into 2, plus the final boss stage. But it had a bigger variety of zone themes, which made it feel bigger, and I appreciate it for that. Well, actually, no. There is one that has 3 stages, and that'd be Metropolis, but I don't know why they did that, but that's a whole nother discussion. Boss fights are so much better. Like, granted, they're still pretty easy, but, like, for these classic games, I kind of like the idea of, apart from, like, the late ones, just not so much can you kill the boss, but how much can you push his shit in. The stage design is better. Like, there's less of these slower, tedious platformy ones, though there are a couple, like Hill Zone can be a bit slow. And Casino Night can be a bit janky, but it is what it is. The special stage was impressive. However, because of the limitations, you lost all your rings you were carrying when you entered it. And because of the draw distance on the Genesis, the special stages were like a lot harder than they really should have been. Now, in the Origins collections, again, and as well as the mobile port, they did fix that, so it does help to be able to see farther. But that doesn't change the fact that these are probably the most tedious special stages in the classic games. Now, for that being the only nitpick I can say for the game, apart from the fact that there was cut content,
content in every game.
Yeah, well, this one was kind of abundant because there were 4 stages that were cut out: the forest, a desert, a castle, and then the one everybody knows, Hidden Palace, which was brought back in that mobile port, but for one reason or another, cut out of Origins. And I actually did play there is a beta, a ROM out there that does have these cut stages in them. I can see why they cut the castle stage because there's only one stage that just repeats twice. But I don't know why they cut the forest or the desert, but it is what it is. I don't know why they cut Hidden Palace either. The Death Egg was also supposed to have an actual stage before the boss, but that was cut because all they had was just a copy of Chemical Plant, and I am not kidding about that. I mean that literally. Anyways,
I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's out there, but anyways, yeah. Besides the cut content, like the only nitpick I have is the special stages. So, for taking what Sonic 2 did and making it better, it's an S tier, and yes, I know I'm being biased because it was my first, but it is genuinely an amazing game. For its time, especially.
I'm biased with forces, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But, like, again, childhood favorite, but it's objectively a good game.
Yeah, I have played it and beaten it. Not with Origins. You can get the Genesis if you have the expansion.
Yeah,
Nintendo
I do
Online
remember you playing it on
Plus.
that.
Yeah, I played it before my brother's subscription expired.
Yeah.
And I beat it.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a couple hours.
Yeah, it's like these games are short, but you know they were challenging for their time. Like obviously, as someone who's used to Sonic games, you can go through these most of these in one try, and it'll take you about an hour and a half at most on your first playthrough. But still, again, it took me multiple times as a kid because I sucked to beat these, and I beat 3 before I beat either of those 2. And another thing that thing did was have that competitive multiplayer, which does show off a bit of the cut content because apart from the special stage that the other 3 stages have, the music is actually from those cut stages.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so, you know, and a little bit extra fleshed out because it also introduced Tails, which a second player could play as. So it did have, like, an actual co-op mode, which in a basic platform like this hadn't really been seen that much because usually it's hot seat, like, you know, one person dies and you swap to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, quite a bit of polish that game had, despite its rough edges. Anyways, moving on to CD. This game was kind of an advancement and a throwback to 1 at the same time, because some of the stages were a bit rough. Because there were a lot of, like, vertical 90-degree edging, which, if you're used to seeing the curvature in the older games, is kind of weird. But, probably the honest thing most people are going to notice is the time-traveling mechanic. I honestly didn't care for that much. A lot of the times you get cock-blocked by the stage design before you can get 88 miles per hour. No. Before you can get, like, the full charge and travel.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I got to the point after a few playthroughs where I either don't do it or I intentionally travel to the bad feature. Because the bad feature are the more interesting designs, in my opinion. They're a bit more challenging. And they have the best music. Regardless of whether or not you're playing as the US or the JP soundtrack, which I'm going to say right now, y'all weebs can suck it. The US one's better. That being said, there are some decent tracks in the Japanese one. Like, I will admit Collision Chaos is objectively better for the Japanese version. And Title Temp is bad for both features, actually. But for the most part, the US one's better. You're not going to convince me that, like, in Palm Tree Panic, have an annoying little Japanese kids go, yeah, and woo, and it is better than the US one. You can fuck off with that shit.
I have no opinion. I never finished this game.
Fair enough. Yeah, this game has a lot of jank, so I can't say I blame you. Like, I thought it was pretty good, but it does have its issues. Like I said, the curvature can be weird, the time-traveling mechanic is a bit janky and kind of redundant. Because, honestly, to get the good ending, you just need the time stones. You don't even need to travel back to destroy the generators.
Yeah, also, like, the mobile port. It was like, I think probably knew at the time. It did not work well on my phone. I mean, it
Yeah.
also could have just been a phone issue more than the mobile port issue.
Well, I don't know if that mobile port was based off the original or if that was what they used to make the original Steam Enhanced Edition that was later then taken to Origins.
I don't know.
But either way, I thought the special stages were a lot of fun. Honestly, the special stages in this one were like my favorite in the entire series.
I don't think I ever got a special stage.
It's... You know the special stages in Mania?
Yeah,
It's the one where you're chasing the UFO.
Oh, those! Oh, I hated that!
Yeah, it's like that, but instead of chasing that around a track, you, there's like 7 of them you have to destroy in an arena. But the arenas was actually like... The early 3D shown off in that was like really cool for a Sonic game. Like, obviously by today's standard, it's like, okay, it's pretty, but it's like, I don't know, just back then, just having that full 3D special stage was like really freaking cool to me. Plus, like, all the backgrounds for the special stages look like Windows 95 screensavers. Which, if you know, you know. Anyways, one thing I will say against the game is the boss designs are not good. Like, 2 of them aren't even boss fights. Like, the Collision Chaos is just a pinball machine. And then, I think it was Wacky Workbench. It's just, like, surviving the mines he drops and then he'll blow himself up. It's really stupid. The only one that really gives you any challenge is the final one, and even that one's pretty easy.
I remember the pinball one.
Yeah, it's, like, not even a boss fight.
I think I did struggle with that, though, because I got lost.
That's understandable. Like, I struggled with it my first time playing this. Like, I kept falling in the middle and dying, but, like, now it's just like, oh yeah, this thing. Let me kill it in about 10 seconds. But yeah, the stage themes are kind of amusing. The designs could have been better. That has a great soundtrack, and yeah, I'll admit, you can have fun with the Japanese one too. And the special stages were fucking amazing for the time. I will keep repeating that because like they have been like outdone in terms of spectacle. But I would say a low A for this one as well. I think between the two, I'd rather play that over the original Sonic. But it's got its issues. I will say that it's good, but it's got its issues.
And it's like what's going to be Louis 4 is based on.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Anyways, this next one's going to be interesting because Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles are 2 halves of one game. Which means these are going to be fun to rank because I've decided we're going to rank them separately, and then we're going to rate the complete package that is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'm guessing your main experience is just playing the combined version that's in Origins.
Yeah, that is the only way I've played it. And I didn't even finish the game yet.
Yeah, so you probably didn't notice as much of a difference with that because originally when you played Sonic and Knuckles combined, the final boss for Sonic 3 got cut off. It just didn't appear unless you were playing as Knuckles. Which kind of pissed me off because I kind of like the big arm fight. But I believe they fixed that in Origins. And in Sonic and Knuckles, you couldn't save your game if you played that standalone. Nor could you play as Tails, nor did Sonic have Tails with him. And the multiplayer was also not accessible.
Sonic and Knuckles, not Sonic and Tails and Knuckles.
Well, I'm just saying, like, all that stuff you could do with it combined was not in the original version. And it was actually worse for this one because it made getting all the emeralds almost impossible because the rings are a lot more hidden in Sonic and Knuckles than they were in 3. And plus, again, since you can't save, it means you have to do it in one go.
Yippee.
But yeah, again, if you play through the first 6 stages and then look at the second set of 6, most of the ones in Sonic 3 are easier. Whereas in Sonic and Knuckles, apart from Mushroom Hill, they're a bit harder. So there's been plenty of excuses why this game was split into two. I don't buy any of them. I'm pretty sure it was just greed.
I mean,
So,
I believe the like. I know that I heard they had a freaking like a collab with one of the restaurants. I think it might have been McDonald's. I don't remember.
I have no idea. But yeah, between the two, I think I like Sonic and Knuckles' stage design and boss fights a bit more. But 3 was a bit more. 3 is a better experience, a standalone experience. Plus, it's the one that had the multiplayer. Not that I ever really played the multiplayer, but it is there. 3 had, the saving. The special stages are a lot less tedious in 3. But either way, like looking at a more the combined experience, it is a pretty lengthy game for a Genesis game, putting both games together. The sprite work in this game was gorgeous compared to the older games. There are some pretty good boss fights. The final boss is actually pretty epic, both the normal one and the secret one. Great soundtrack, even though unfortunately, because of the whole thing with Michael Jackson, the second half of Sonic 3's soundtrack has been replaced with its betas, which aren't terrible, but they're not the same. And the mini-boss music is completely gone that was in Sonic 3. Honestly, the best way to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles is actually in a PC port called Sonic 3 Another Angel Island, because you can tweak a lot of the experience, including like what version of the title screen to have, what version of the invincibility music to use, yada yada. But I'm going to say S tier for the complete package, despite the fact that, it was kind of bullshit that it was split in two. I'm going to say I'm not going to put it over a 2 because of that, solely because of that, actually. But it is objectively one of the best, if not the best experiences out there for the Sonic series. 3 and Knuckles I'm going to put into A over CD. But I'm going to say 3 was slightly better because, again, you could save.
I need to get to beating those games.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. But make sure this one you actually do want to get the Chaos Emeralds, at least the basic ones. You don't need to bother with the super ones, because that does unlock the true final boss.
Okay.
Anyways, something that was absent from Origins, and I do not know why, Sonic 3D Blast.
Never played it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. For some reason, it's been... I think there was a standalone on Steam. It might still be there. But other than that, for whatever reason, I think the only compilation it's ever been in was the Mega Collection on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. And it was specifically the Genesis version, which is fine because the Saturn version does have some cool things about it, like the backgrounds are more animated. The music is higher quality, but I don't think it fits the game as well as the Genesis version does. And honestly, I could listen to the Genesis version tracks a lot more than a lot of the Saturn ones. And the Saturn one does have a unique special stage, but it is essentially just a better version of the half pipe from 2. So, before I continue this, I'm going to say the definitive version of 3D Blast is the Genesis one. And the Saturn one's more of just an oddity to check out of curiosity. Though I'm sure there are some people that prefer that version, I am not one of them. Anyway, the name of the title of this game is actually a lie. In a technical sense, anyway, because it's not 3D, it's isometric. So, the controls are a bit janky, and they take some getting used to. There's also the fact that this game is essentially a glorified escort quest. Because rather than just getting to the goal, you have to kill 5 enemies, collect the flickies that drop, and then lead the flickies to the ring that will either advance you to the next area or end the stage.
I have seen gameplay of this game.
Yeah. It's not...
Yeah, it does feel like so annoying.
It's not bad, but it is tedious. Because if you get hit, the flickies scatter and you gotta recollect them. Unless you got a shield, in which case they will stay. But that still, it's freaking... It is kind of annoying. So you do have to put up with the frustration of babysitting the damn flickies. The special stages on the Genesis version are also fairly decent. Though nothing spectacular. The soundtrack is fairly good. Apparently Sonic Team thinks this is one of the best ones because there are several tracks from this game that are remixed in Adventure 1, of all things. But yeah, I think just the biggest problem is the fact that because it's isometric, the precision platforming can be a bit tedious. And the fact that it's an escort quest. Boss fights are alright. They're not the greatest thing in the world. The final boss is kind of cool, but even that one's not that great. So I'm gonna say this is the only like classic game I'm gonna put in B. Like it's decent, but it's not particularly great, and it was a bit of a letdown for the amount of advertising this game got for being like. I specifically remember watching ads for this on TV that was like making a big deal of how Blue was back, and it's just like that wasn't the greatest comeback you think it was, sir. Anyways, now that we've got through the classic 16-bit games, it's now time for the 8-bits. And since I know these are on the Origins Plus, but have you played any of these?
No, I don't even know how to freaking get them in Origins Plus.
They should be in the extras menu, if I remember correctly.
I have not checked that.
I think that's like right in the same menu that you can access like freaking story mode. I think.
I have not looked for it. I just looked to play as Amy, and that's it.
Yeah, honestly, that's another thing about CD is like I don't begrudge it for introducing Amy. I like Amy's classic design. I don't mind the fact that she's there at all in CD either. I don't hate her in the newer games because they did tone her down a bit, but boy, am I gonna have something to talk about when we get to Adventure. Anyways, for the 8-bit games, these were not ports. These were completely different games. Probably the closest being to its 16-bit original was the first one, which does have some carryover stages that were like Green Hill and Scrap Zone. Or Scrap Brain, that's what it was called. I don't know why I thought it was Scrapyard, but anyways, it has those two zones. I think there's one or two boss fights that are similar. But other than that, it's mostly a unique game. Whether or not this game is worth playing, I will say maybe once to check it out. But apart from that, it's like really just the first game, but kind of worse, just with different stages and boss fights. But you can tell that the design philosophy for it was pretty similar to that first game, for better or worse. I'm going to say this game is a low B, because again, it's fine, it's just not really worth playing. There's not a whole lot to talk about either. The next one, Sonic 2. Oh boy. I wish this was like the Sonic 1 8-bit, where it was like a dumbed down version of the original, because this game sucks ass. The stage design is so bad. Like, you can tell, like, right when you first start it, like, how tedious the stage design is. There's so many... I mean, part of this is because I played these on the Game Gear, not the Master System. So that means you have less screen real estate, and you don't have as much reaction time to hazards. But this game feels like it was designed for, like, a big screen, because holy shit do you run into hazards before you have time to react. The boss fights are also terrible because you don't get rings for any of them. Which means one hit and you're fucked. Now, I know there's been some boss fights in the older games, like, the end of Sonic 1 and 2 are like that, but those games, it was just the final bosses. This game, it's every boss. And not only that, you have to go through a stage to get to the boss. All with no rings. No checkpoints.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's bad. And there's also annoying vehicle sections in it, like the said hang glider you can see. These aren't fun. And to top it all off, to get to the actual end of the game, you have to collect all the emeralds. It's not like, say, Sonic and Knuckles where it's just an secret final boss. No, 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 no. The whole last stage and ending are locked behind getting all the emeralds. And you might think, oh, well, you just get 50 rings to get into the special stage, right? Nope. They place the emeralds throughout the normal stages, and you have to find them. It sucks. It sucks. The only reason I even beat this game and got the emeralds is because of a walkthrough. Because fuck doing that. I played this game once. I tried it again before doing this review just to see if it was as bad as I remember it, and never again. F tier. That game is terrible. Don't play it. And it sucks because, again, it has the same name of a game that's like my favorite. But this one is terrible. Terribad. See, it's so bad. It's got me fucking flubbing the word Terabad. Now we can actually move on to a Game Gear game that's actually good, Sonic Chaos. And I will say this is probably the best of the Game Gear games. This game does not borrow from any of its, well, I mean, apart from being a 2D Sonic game, it does not borrow from its 16-bit predecessors or try to emulate them and, like, you know, being just it's a portable version of those. No, this is like a completely unique experience. There's even some new power-ups. There's, like, flying dash boots, there's a mobile spring, a couple others, actually. The stage design is pretty decent. Boss fights are going to be a bit challenging but fair, and it doesn't pull any bullshit that Sonic 2 does. The music is... You know, I don't like most of the Game Gear tracks, or music tracks for these games, because I don't like the Master System / Game Gear's sound chip. But, this one's actually pretty good for an 8-bit Sonic game. So, it is a bit short, but that's to be expected, and honestly that's for the better, because I used to have a Game Gear. You get about 2 hours of battery with six AA's, and then it dies. Yeah, I don't think my parents liked that too much, which is why I didn't have very many Game Gear games. All I had was Sonic 2, Sonic 1, Sonic Chaos, and like a baseball game that came with it, and Tails Adventure. That was it. The rest of these games I either had to play on an emulator or on a compilation. But yeah, this game is like the one that I actually do recommend actually going out and playing. It's pretty decent, and I will put it in B. Triple Trouble is another good one. A lot of people think this one's the best, and I kind of disagree. Like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, the stage design wasn't as interesting to me. The soundtrack wasn't as good. This game did introduce Knack the Weasel / Fang the Sniper, though, so people probably remember it by that. Which, actually, the special stages are kind of interesting in that regard, because that is when Knack / Fang appeared, is in those special stages. But it did do a lot of what Chaos did right. Just, again, I don't think it was as good, but, you know, considering the fact that it was just more Chaos, you know, I'm just going to put it in B and say there's not a lot to talk about, in my opinion, apart from the fact that it introduced Knack and Knack / Fang. I also wish they would, like, freaking make up their mind, because I've seen it Knack in certain places, but, like, most recently it seems to be Fang. Like, I think in Superstars it's Fang.
Yeah, in Superstars it is Fang. The whole reason he changes his names because he's like that goddamn criminal trying to avoid the law. Yeah, I actually thought it was two different characters. No, because I could have sworn at one point I saw like Fang was a female somewhere, and like that doesn't sound right. But nope.
That might have just been like a headcanon fan fiction.
Either that or it was a translation fuckery. That's entirely possible.
That too. Yeah.
Anyways.
No, I think if one of the Tales Tube episodes goes over it, because Fang has had multiple names.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Fang barely ever appears, though. He's like in this game, the arcade fighting game, Superstars, and like one other game.
Technically, he was a Mania.
Yeah, technically. I think he's in one of the racing games too, but that's about it. Anyway, Sonic Blast. You notice they don't have 3D on this one. Which makes me wonder, what the fuck was the point? This game is kind of more like Sonic 1, in which case it borrows heavily from its predecessor, but, you know, it's still unique stages and boss fights. This one's kind of hard to describe. Like, it's still a 2D platformer, but, like, you can tell they were kind of trying to go for some sort of 3D Blast appearance, because he's, like, Sonic and Knuckles are, like, blown up. It's really weird. To where they take up more of the screen, which makes the platforming more tedious. And it's also got, like, this weird, like, 2.5D stage fields where you don't just see the side of the stage, you can see a little bit of the top. Like, the only thing I could really compare that to is, like, Donkey Kong Country. If anyone's played that, that's basically what these stages kind of look like. So graphically, it is kind of impressive for a Game Gear game, but that's all it has going for it, because the stages are really dull. And the water stage is a nightmare. I will actually say the water stage in this one is worse than Labyrinth. This Labyrinth I can at least tolerate now. The water stage in this one is terrible. Like, I have gotten stuck on the water stage so many times, it's not even funny. But, yeah, it is a separate game, but I just don't see the merit in it, because, again, most of the stages are just bland. So, C tier. You're not missing anything by not playing it. Just play 3D Blast. I don't think this one even has a story to it. Because 3D Blast does. It's not much of a story, but it has one. Blast on the end and just you know, ye old Sonic game.
Yeah.
Anyways, for a game that's both a spin-off and not a spin-off, Knuckles Chaotix, I don't even need to ask if you've played this one or not, because for whatever fucking reason, this game has never been ported off the most niche console ever, which is the 32X. Fun fact, I actually used to own this. I wish I hadn't sold it, because it's probably worth a decent amount of money now. And it's like the only Sonic game I don't have physically, apart from Shuffle, because that game has also not been ported. This game was kind of interesting, because this game was actually sort of a co-op experience. Fully playable in single player, but probably better in single player, I'll be honest, because the fact that you have to tug each other along the stage means this is one of those games that could probably end friendships.
Sonic Crackers.
Yeah, that game never came to be, for better or worse.
I'm pretty sure it is literally just basically the very fucking early version of Knuckles Chaotix.
I thought that was for the original cancel Sonic 4 on Genesis, but I could be wrong.
No.
Anyways, there's no reason why this couldn't have been on the Genesis, other than the fact that it uses fancy sprite work. Because the characters will zoom in and out, and there's like effects that would not have worked on the Genesis, but they could have easily just cut those and just kept it a Genesis game, and it probably would have sold better. One problem I have with the game is the fact that there's only 5 stages, but each of them has 5 fucking levels. Which means it's got a good amount of content, but that content is repetitive. Especially on one stage, I think it's called Amazing Arena. You can actually get to the exit and fail the stage on that, because you didn't turn the fucking lights on. I kid you not. Like, I've done that before a couple times. Like, I couldn't find the lights, beat the stage, and the game's like, no, you didn't find the lights, you gotta play this again. It's like, son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah. There's also the fact that there's barely any enemy encounters, so most of the time you're just, like, dragging each other along, going through platforming, which I guess if you like games like Celeste, it's probably a good thing. Because you do get a pretty good sense of speed in this, so you don't have to worry about hazards as much. There's no life system, which is kind of ahead of its time. Because while you can die, it just means you lose the stage and you have to restart it, which kind of sucks because there's no checkpoints. But again, you can't game over, so there's that. And it does have a save system. That being said, going back to the sprites, this is actually also a pretty beautiful game. It's also more unfortunate that it's locked in the 32X, because, like, the backgrounds, the screen effects, all are pretty creative, honestly. That is a decent soundtrack to go with it. My favorite part about this game is the special stages, which are a mixture of the half pipe and blue spheres. I know I streamed that one to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the one thing that would give Sonic CD special stage a run for its money, because I absolutely love the special stages in this. Like, I probably like the special stages more than the main game. Like, they were fun to look at, fun to play through, but anyway, like I said, the main game has got its issues, but I still feel there's merit to... fucking hell, I hate it when YouTube does this. But I do feel there's merit to it because, again, it is a fully unique 2D platformer, and this is the game that Vector, Charmy, and Espio originated from.
Mm-hmm.
And they went on to be not main characters, but they went on to become repeating side characters, and they were in Sonic X, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. The only reason why I suspect this game was never ported is because of the fifth character, that Armadillo I can never remember the name of.
Mighty.
Yeah, he was from an arcade game, and there are some rights issues with that, but they could like port the game and like take him out or something, or replace him with someone else.
I don't think that'd go over well.
I mean, it's better than the game being locked to the 32X. That being said, since the other character that was in those arcade games has appeared in Mania, I don't know why they can't... Mighty! That's his name. I don't know why Mighty can't be...
I just said Mighty!
Oh, I didn't hear you. Discord must have cut out.
Oh my god. Mighty was also a Mania.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't bring 32X. Or this 32X game back. Like, the game doesn't have problems emulating. Like, it's fine on a Genesis. Most Genesis emulators can play 32X games, and this game has all the smoothness that the original had, which the original definitely does have some issues with smoothness, because there are slowdowns, but it's not terrible. But yeah, I'm going to say this is another B tier, but I'm going to say that's probably better than 3D Blast. Now we skip ahead. Probably a generation and a half, because depending on how you look at it, the Dreamcast is either part of the 5th or the 6th generation. Because that thing introduced about halfway through and died about a year into the PS2 lifespan. But the main three games getting for it were the Sonic Adventure games and Shuffle, which Sonic Adventure 1, maybe this is because we were desperate for more Sonic content, or maybe the fact because we were eager to see how Sonic would make the jump after Super Mario 64, which was a revolutionary game. Sonic Adventure sadly was not a revolutionary game, but it made that jump really, really well in my opinion. This is the first game to have like a proper story, as well as give the characters more actual characterization. For starters, which that was kind of nice to see. Visually, the game was actually really good looking for early Dreamcast game. And then there's the gameplay. This is probably where I'm going to start being a bit controversial, because I know most people played this through the DX port. And unfortunately, that DX port is not a good port. A lot of people dog on the graphical changes, but honestly, I kind of like the DX visuals over the originals. But the more important thing is the game is buggy. It's not Sonic 06 level buggy, but you will see some fuckery from time to time, like dash pads not boosting you where you need to go, or falling through the docks on fucking Emerald Beach, or Emerald Coast.
I was about to say Wave Ocean.
I mean, those two stages are basically the same, and much like Emerald Coast DX, Wave Ocean, you still have that issues with falling through the dock. But I've played through DX multiple times. I've played through the Dreamcast one multiple times, and while yes, the original is far more stable, the DX is not unplayable. And I know you were able to finish that one.
Yeah. DX1's the one on Steam, right?
It was originally on the GameCube, but yeah, it was ported to Steam.
Yeah, I've beaten the game.
Yeah.
You saw me beat the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I needed, like, help with one of the attacks, because I wasn't sure how to do it, so I streamed it to you.
Yeah, was that... I'm trying to remember, was that like when you're trying to do Supersonic, or was that when you're doing Amy's path?
No, it was Sonic's final boss.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that now, okay.
I think I just ended up finishing the game with you anyway, because I was nearly done.
Yeah, I do remember you struggling a bit for that fight, but... Anyways, the stages... there's quite a bit of content for... I mean, this is a short game. For a Sonic game, there's a pretty decent amount of content. You know, there's 10 stages for him, 5 for Knuckles, Tails, and Gamma, and 4 for Big, for whatever fucking reason, and then 3 for Amy.
Stages were annoying. Mainly just that frickin' robot was annoying.
I kind of get why a lot of people don't like it. I've, like, played it enough where it's just being followed by Zero is like, you can't catch me, bitch. So, I do not have a problem with Amy's story. Big used to piss me off when I was a kid because, number one, I hate fishing, and number two, it's like, why am I doing this in a Sonic game? But now it's just like, you throw the line, you find the frog, throw the line, catch the frog, and you're done. And you only have to do it 4 times. And his Adventure Field stages sections aren't that bad either. So it's just like, you can beat his story in about 30 minutes. It's not a big deal. Is it the worst part of the game? I would say yes, in my opinion, but it's not... It doesn't kill the game.
I don't think so. I like the cut stages, because they were simple.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, it's just, I hate fishing, and why am I doing this in a Sonic game? But, yeah, like, 10 stages of Sonic, you know, you get your pure Sonic game in. And, like, most of his stages are good. Like, the only one I really have to complain about is the Pyramid one, but that stage just kind of sucks in general. I do kind of like the fact that, unlike with Sonic Adventure 2, there's, like, variants to each stage. And each stage, except for the Pyramid, which only has 2, you go in as 3 different characters. So, you know, you'll clear it once as Sonic, and then you'll do maybe a race as Tails. And then, I don't know, find the Emerald as Knuckles, so... The fact that they actually did these things with the characters and made Tails, you know, races, Knuckles, the, scavenger hunt, and then we already talked about Amy and Big, and then Gamma is a time-heavy shooter. Which I actually like Gamma stages a lot more than the shooting stages in SA2, because I kind of like the, difficulty being more based around creating combos for time, rather than having to do tedious platforming with tank controls. So, like, I don't know. Like, there is so little to complain about this game, and if all I could say is just, like, I hated Biggs as a kid, to me, this is, like, the best 3D game still. And, it made that jump so well, even though, like, a lot of people are probably soured on it because of DX. Like, you really have to have been there to have played that original version. It's S tier.
I mean, I'm pretty sure on Sonic Twitter, if you say anything, I'm pretty sure, like, the only good games they consider are the adventure games, and everything else is shit.
Yeah, I hard disagree on that one. Especially because when we get to 2, I might have some opinions about that. But before we get there, there's this little known game called Sonic Pocket Adventure. This is for a device...
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I know you haven't, because this is a device that nobody had heard of, the Neo Geo Pocket. And not only that, the title of this is a bit misleading, since it's literally just a dumbed-down version of 2 with half the stages. It's not a one-to-one clone of 2, but, like, you can tell they were trying to make Sonic 2 portable for a different console. It's if I had to compare it, it was kind of like Sonic 1 on the Game Gear, but even more just trying to be like the 16-bit than that game was. There's very little reason to play this unless you had an Neo Geo Pocket, which I only know one person that did, and I'm pretty sure the only reason he even bought it was because of this game. Because he was even more of a rabid Sonic fan than you and me put together back in the day. But anyways, this game has no merit. Like, you can play it once on an emulator just to see what it was and then never play it again. It's okay, but it's meritless. C tier. Now then, Sonic Adventure 2. This one was more divisive, to say the least. Most
have not
people
finished it because Rouge's freaking prison hall stage annoys the fuck out of me.
Oh,
I can only
I
find
don't
2
blame-
emeralds.
I hate that stage too.
I've not only been able to find 2 emeralds.
Yeah, this
I did. Rouge, he said 15 minutes, Rouge. Why do you have to go? 5 minutes is plenty. I'm the one controlling you, Rouge.
that's why you don't
wanna
get
see how
fantasy.
You wanna know how long it fucking takes me to find the goddamn emerald shards and knuckles? 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah, and this one is bad because you have to like go up and unlock the damn vaults first too. Because there's always at least one that's in a vault. Or in a locked vault. Every time I've played this game I get stuck on that stage and die a few times. Because of the time limit. But anyways, as I was saying, this one was a bit divisive. Most fans a lot of fans like consider this as like part of the top tier, and I know there's people that say this is the best one, which I heavily disagree on that one. My main problem with this game is the fact that, unlike Sonic Adventure 1, where you just went through each character sequentially, this basically has 2 stories which you cycle between them. I don't like that. Like, it's not a game, it's not deal breaking or anything, but like, if I want to play as Sonic, just let me play as fucking Sonic. Or if I, for whatever reason, want to do some scavenger hunting, just let me do some fucking scavenger hunting. And like I said before, the shooting stages are not as good as Gamma's, because they're longer and they're more weighted in precision platforming, which, if we're controlling, we got tank controls, why are we precision platforming with these?
Because yes.
And the shooting to me is also a bit more off, because you also have to rely on the cannon and melee attacks as well, in addition to the homing missiles. Whereas Gamma's just like scan it with a laser and shoot it, and you're good. Another thing I didn't like about this thing with the boss fights, Sonic Adventure 1 like had this problem as well, but to a lesser degree. Like, I get why the 3D boss fights are the way they are, because, you know, just hit it as quickly as you can and see how quick you can push your shit in, like the 2D games just wouldn't work in a 3D game, so I understand why you can only hit them once at a time, and you have to wait for them to be vulnerable to hit them again. But in this game, they were more annoying than they were in the first one. Especially that damn ghost in the Heroes campaign. I love having to go back and forth in a circle before he finally gets tired and pukes.
I don't think I've gotten to that far.
It's one of Knuckles' bosses. It's like maybe halfway through the game. Another thing I don't like is the fact that the treasure hunting sections, as we've already discussed, are worse. It's not just that one stage for Rouge, like almost all of the stages are bigger than the ones in Adventure 1, which makes finding them more tedious, and unlike Adventure 1, you have to find them in order for the radar to work.
That is so annoying.
Yeah, because in 1...
I was streaming it to my friend of mine like a while ago, and it was Pumpkin Hill.
Oh yeah, that one's annoying.
It was a Pumpkin Hill. And I'm trying to find a thing. And I'm just, like, the majority of the time you're just aimlessly flying through the damn stage, trying to find just the damn first emerald shard. Like, it would have been... Yeah. And then there was one time, I was getting the last shard. It was over a pit. And the camera's terrible.
Yeah.
The camera was terrible. I had aimed to like, I did my best to aim it so that I would jump and just go straight flying to the shard. Yeah, it did not work out. Camera angle just, I don't know. It changed, I died, and then the emerald moved positions.
Yeah, like in the first one, they'll do that too, but like at least in that one, if you get close to one that's not the one that's selected, the radar will still pick it up.
I recorded that footage. I've been debating uploading it.
Yeah. Like I said, most of the Sonic stages are good. Although the last one can be a bit tedious. Shadow, I like how they made this big freaking deal in the ad campaign of good and bad Hedgehog, which Shadow's more of an anti-hero than anything else, number one. And number two, you get to play as him less than any other character. Because he's got 4 stages and then the final boss fight. Not counting the actual final story, because that's just play as each character once. But yeah, Sonic and Shadows play is pretty smooth. I don't... The vehicle ones are tolerable, but the treasure hunting just brings the game down hard.
City Escape is fun.
I mean, that song's been memed to death. Which brings me to the next point. Apart from the...
They just fun too, honestly.
Yeah. The stage is... That's probably why they brought it back in Generations. Yeah, I was about to say, that's probably why they brought it back in Generations.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
But yeah, like...
Radical was fun too. I've been trying to do the friend told me that you could get one of the Shadows power-ups early if you... And I've been trying to do that, and yeah, I've been failing at that.
Mm-hmm. There's also a go-kart stage for some reason. But that also brings me to the next point, the soundtrack. For the most part, it's pretty good. Not as good as Adventure 1, in my opinion. Like, there's some good ones here and there. I don't like the fact that there's, like, vocal ones mixed in. Like, yeah, I know Cityscape's been mean to death. Rouge's stages are, like, okay with that, but fucking Knuckles is just like, yeah, the last thing I want to do is listen to fucking Blackity Black while I'm trying to find these damn emeralds.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No. That being said, I will say one thing about it. I do like Knuckles' final stage. Like, I can listen to... As much as I hate rap, I can listen to that one all day. I like the space one.
I love that one.
Yeah, but anyways, it's got its ups and downs. I heavily disagree with anybody who says this is one of the best ones, but I'm going to say it's, like, top of B. Because, like, it's got too many issues for me to even put it in A.
It's an A for me.
Yeah, we'll just say top B then. See, you haven't played these, so I'll probably get through these as quick as I can. Well, I'll talk about the first one some and then do the other two quickly. Sonic Advance was kind of like another like you had to be there kind of situation. Because this was the first 2D game we had gotten in quite a while. It was kind of like, for anybody that's a Mario fan, going to the new Super Mario Brothers games. Like, that first one on the DS wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but like finally having a new 2D Mario game was just like, holy shit. Well, this is how it was for Sonic fans. And not only that, but Sonic Advance 1 is actually a pretty good game. The stage design, for the most part, is pretty solid and follows the old formula fairly well. Boss fights also follow that old formula, in which case the majority of them aren't that hard, but you know, like, there are a couple tricky ones at the end, but most of the time it's just like, not if you can kill it, but like how much you can destroy him. It is short, 6 stages plus the final with 2 stages each, and then the final one just being a boss gauntlet. Although there is another unlockable secret boss for Sonic from getting all the emeralds. Which, that is one complaint I have for the game, is the special stages not only aren't that good, but you have to find a special spring to get to them, and some of them are hidden pretty annoyingly. Thankfully, emeralds do carry over from playthrough to playthrough, so, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I wish they carried through the different characters, which is another point. There's 4 characters you can play as, but again, Sonic's the one you kind of have to do because he's the only one that gets the true final boss for whatever reason.
The main character.
Yeah. Sprite work for a GBA game, it's pretty good. The soundtrack is actually pretty good, again, for a GBA game. It uses the soundboard pretty well. Did it do it again? Okay, yeah, you better not. That's the wrong list.
Hell Shadow!
Anyways, I really, the fact that it's short's the only major complaint I have for it. So I'm gonna say this is a high. This is an A. I think I said it's even better than Sonic 1. Sonic Advance 2. This has some pros and some cons to it. On one hand, it looks better than the first game, and it does have a pretty decent soundtrack. But the stage design in the later half of the game gets really tedious. Sky Canyon is probably one of the worst stages in the entire series, or at least one of the worst 2D stages. Actually, no, there are some stages in Sonic 2 8-bit that are worse, but of the everybody's played, this Sky Canyon is just terrible. It is the most tedious piece of shit. So if you don't want to rip your hair out, play as Tails. Do yourself a favor. The boss fights also are not good, because this is one of those games where you're constantly having to fight the boss while running. So if you get hit, good luck collecting rings. And good luck being able to hit him more than once every 5 minutes, because again, they're momentum based. My issue with this game is the first half of the game is decent, but then once you get to Sky Canyon, it just crashes and burns. I'm gonna say a low B. Oh wait a minute, this is the game that introduced Cream. There we go.
Bitch!
I'm not serious. Yeah, I'll put it there. That's
Better Vega.
yeah.
I love the rabbit.
I'm gonna just put it there for now. I honestly would personally put it in C, but I can't objectively defend doing that, because again, it does have its good points. 3 was a bit more divisive. It was kind of somewhere between Sonic Advance 1 and 2 in terms of its gameplay philosophy. This one actually had more content, since this one had 6 stages between. I believe it was 6 and 3 this time, whereas the other 2 were 6 and 2. The main problem I had with Sonic Advance 3 is the fact that it's buggy, which shouldn't be a thing for a 2D Sonic game. It's not unplayably bad. It's not even really as buggy as Sonic Adventure DX was, but there are times where you just be like, how the fuck did I lose all that momentum? I don't remember ever falling through the floor, so that's a plus. The boss fights also suck, but for a different reason than they did in 2. And the fact that they're just really tedious. There's one boss where you're constantly having to climb platforms and you damage him by, getting a platform to drop on his head. Which I'm just that feels more like something I'd see in a Mario game. Soundtrack, alright. I think another problem with this game is it's kind of the same thing with New Super Mario Brothers. It was just more of the same. I think people were kind of fatiguing over it. I would say it's better than 2, but still a low B. When I play these games, I usually just play Sonic Advance 1 and skip 2 and 3. Heroes. I've got some words for this game, so I'll let you go first.
I mean, I've not played this game, unfortunately.
I thought you did.
No, I don't have any way to play it.
I thought you did through emulator. Okay, never mind then.
I had it to emulator.
Or not emulator, through your hacked Wii U. Didn't I give you... Nah.
No.
I should probably fix that then.
You gave me Mario Galaxy.
I could have sworn well, it is what it is. But
you
oh
gave
boy.
me Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, but I should have put you on the GameCube, Nintendo though, but we'll talk about that later. For now, I hate this game. I unironically hate this game. I will say it does have its good points. And I cannot tell if it's going to do that or not. YouTube is being laggy. But I will say it does have a decent soundtrack. Although the main theme can fuck off.
Oh my god, it's good.
It does look better than the adventure games, although that's probably because those aren't Dreamcast ports. This is a native GameCube, PS2, Xbox game. It does control fairly well. That's about as good as I will say. Well, there's a couple stages that are pretty fun, like Bingo Highway / the first casino stage, whatever the fuck it's called. It's pretty decent. I like the idea of like each team being different in some way, but it's poorly executed. Especially since you have to play through the game 4 times to get the final boss, and that also includes getting all the emeralds. So I have never actually fully finished this game, since Team Dark makes me not want to play it.
Oh my god, man.
You have not played this game, so I don't want to hear it. Because Team Dark stages are tedious as hell. And then Team Chaotic stages... how do I describe them? It's kind of like... See, what are those... Shit, there's another one of these other games that has kind of like scavenger hunty type levels, but I'm blanking on it now. That's kind of sad. I don't know, but anyways, like, the fact that you could go around the stages again and again trying to find like the one thing you didn't collect, or the one thing you didn't do. It's like Shadow the Hedgehog. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like Shadow the Hedgehog when not just going through the neutral route. Because, holy shit, like, I got stuck in, like, the castle stage. We're playing as Team Chaotix, and there was, like, one thing I could not find, and I took probably about 20 minutes before I finally found the damn thing. Ugh.
Was it that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?
No, it wasn't even the emeralds. It was, like, these fucking... It was, like, these fucking, I don't... Yeah, you had to find these keys, and one of them is just hidden so annoyingly. But yeah, beyond the team objectives, the other problem I have with it is the basic combat. I don't like the fact that enemies all have health meters now, which means you have to like attack them constantly, even if you're playing as the power character.
I mean, it's only like 3 bars.
Yeah, until you get to the tanky ones. And then you get, like those big dudes with the axes, you have to hit those fuckers a lot. And then there's the boss fights. Holy shit, does he have a lot of health. Which, again, even if you're attacking with Knuckles or Mega, it's just like, he's a tanky motherfucker. Even the first one is like, takes a while to take down. And I don't want to get started with the Egg Emperor. That son of a bitch is like, one of the, until recently, has been like one of the worst bosses in the whole series. The levels, there's way too much grinding. That's another thing I kind of begrudge Sonic Adventure 2 with, because it's the one that started the grinding thing, because everyone had to have grinding because Tony Hawk's is radical, man. Granted in 2, like, and it wasn't, like, that big of a deal, but in Heroes, Rail fucking Canyon is the worst thing ever. I hate that stage. And of course that's the stage they brought back in Shadow Generations. Although thankfully Shadow Generations version of it is not nearly as tedious as the Heroes one. Not a big fan of the level up mechanics either, so... I've heard people call this game as a lovable mess. For me, it's just a mess. Like, again, I will say it says some good points, which as much as I want to put it in D, I'll put it in C. I'll even put it above fucking Blast. But that's as high as it goes. And for the record, I would rather play Shadow the Hedgehog and 06 than Heroes. Yeah, I said it. Which, speaking of Shadow the... Go ahead.
I really don't like Xavier's. This type Sonic is no way out of marrying me. Girl, you're 12.
Oh, dude, like, whenever I replay this, I just...
Like, an adventure. I wanted to mention this with Adventure, but I didn't.
No, go ahead, get it out.
She literally had a fucking character arc. She had a goddamn character arc in the first Adventure game. Where she was like, there's no way Sonic's gonna respect me if I'm doing this shit, so I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm gonna be my own person. And then in Adventure 2, all she does is get threatened to be shot by Eggman,
I mean, she also does rescue him from the prison, but even still, like, she's kind of like more of a, just a generic plot device in SA2, which,
But
again...
like, even in when she went to save Sonic, it was just like, you better
Yeah, it was just simpery.
bury me.
It was just simpery. And like you said, like, most of the character growth she went through in Adventures, like, out the window. And that's another thing I don't like about Heroes either, is it introduced Omega. I hate this motherfucker. Like, he is such an annoying and bland, like, Timu. He's Timu Gamma. Gamma at least had some character growth, and you actually cared when he got shot down. Omega, he could get blown up, but I wouldn't care less.
Oh my god, I love Omega.
And his whole character is, I hate Eggman for keeping me turned off, and that's it. That's literally all there is to him.
I mean, fucking valid. He's a goddamn tank.
I mean, I don't blame him for being pissed off. I don't blame him for being pissed off, but they could have done something with that, and they just didn't.
Pretty sure it is more done in the comics.
I mean, maybe, but this is the game list for the games, not the comics. I don't know. Maybe I might have a different opinion if I read those. Like, my opinions for some of these characters are all over the place. Like I said, I hate Amy during the adventure phase all the way through probably about Generations is when she stopped being annoying. Maybe. And again, I'm perfectly fine with her in Prime. But holy fuck, between Adventure 2 onward, is she, like, awful. And, like, Heroes is no exception to that either.
There's even a freaking... I don't even know what it is for Heroes. It was like something talking about the different teams and the characters before the... It was like part of some magazine or some shit. Oh my god. Bro, this person just glazed the fuck out of Team Sonic. I think, honestly, Sonic specifically. And was just, like, bashing everyone else.
I don't know, like, I like
Bro,
Team...
This person called fucking Omega Gamma.
No, those are two entirely different characters, sir. I mean, he is Timu Gamma, but still, it is a different character.
It's so bad. This guy's just also bashing the hell out of Vector.
I don't mind Vector that much. Charmy's the one that irritates me on that team.
But like, the whole article is just the fucking crudest fuck. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
The images are, like, they're pretty easy to find. I'm pretty sure you can find them somewhere on Reddit. Or
like, I'm pretty forgiving for the majority of these characters, but there are just some I don't like. And honestly, even Cream, I didn't hate her in Sonic Advance 2. It's like, okay, she's a thing. Whatever. Sonic Heroes is the one that made me hate her, because when you play as Team Rose, both her and Amy are so obnoxious. Especially when you pull off their special attack, because their giggling makes me want to mute my TV. But anyways, enough bitching about Heroes. Shadow the Hedgehog. I still will state I'd rather play this than Heroes.
Chaos Emerald.
I still would rather play this than Heroes, but this game is kind of a mess in its own way. For starters, why the fuck does he have a gun? Like, I'm not opposed to the idea of a shooter based on Sonic, but I feel like if you're gonna do that, an Eggman game would be more appropriate. Also, there's another point I forgot to mention. Fuck Sonic Adventure 2 for throwing out the whole thing of Eggman being mean nickname that Sonic created and Robotnik being his actual name to, like, training everyone to just say Eggman from now on. I am not saying that. Fuck you guys. He's Robotnik. Eat a dick. Anyways.
They're supposed to be canonized.
I mean, I know, but still, fuck them. Fuck them weebs. But nah, like, I feel like a Robotnik shooter would have been better if they were going to do that, because you already did that in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, if they turned that into a full-fledged game and fleshed it out, then it would have been, it is what it is. Shadow does not need to be using a gun. He has his own moveset, as Shadow Generations showed us. But, I like the idea of a Shadow-themed game, but, again, it was very badly executed. Because there's also other issues, like, the mission design is basically Team Chaotix unless you're just going through the neutral path.
The game doesn't keep track of the paths that will.
It kind of does, but like the problem is like you have to play through the game 6 times. I mean, granted, like each path has its own stages, but you have to play through the game 6 times to get each ending, and then you have to play it again to get the alternate ending for each path. Which means to get to the final stage, you have to play through the game 12 fucking times. Or 10 times, yeah, sorry, my bad. But, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, I can't even think about it. It's such a pain in the ass. And, like, again, it wouldn't be so bad if it was just to get to the end of the stage. But, like, the objectives for Hero and Dark paths are just... They're so meticulous because you have to 100% them.
Yeah, kill all the gun shoulders or then kill all the black aliens.
Yeah, and there's another dumb thing. If you're on the hero path, the soldiers still shoot at you. If you're on the Doom path, the aliens still shoot at you. Why? Ugh. But yeah, like, there is a mod that's supposed to like make that less tedious, but I could not get it to work.
I have not played this game either, and I want to play it.
Like, if you're just playing it for fun, it's not bad. If you're trying to actually finish it, it's a nightmare. Because some of the stages are actually fun. Like, the cyberspace stages I like. Those are cool. And just the neutral path isn't too bad, because again, you're just getting to the end of the stage. The shooting mechanics, like, it really depends on what you're fighting. Like, sometimes it's easier just to save your ammo and, you know, use basic homing attacks on the soldiers. But if you're going something heavy, then, you know, a machine gun actually does come in handy, because this game follows the Sonic Heroes methodology in giving enemies health bars. And boss fights are also pretty tanky. The story kind of sucks. Which, here's the weird part, like, I cannot tell, like, if this game is supposed to be canon or not, because Shadow Generations follows up on it, but the fucking neutral path, he's a robot! Okay. So apparently some of the paths are canon and some aren't.
I'm pretty sure it's just specifically the good path that's canon, the others aren't.
Probably, because again, Shadow Generations... Yeah, I don't know whether that'd be the...
Also, Eggman was lying about the whole, Shadow being an android thing.
Yeah, but it sure doesn't imply it.
It says it in the game.
It does not imply it when you're on the neutral path, though.
Like the final boss, one of the final bosses, I think.
Maybe in like the final...
You have to play like a... I think it might be the final one, but you have to be in the stage for a while for him to even say that he lied about it.
If that's the case, then I stand correct, because again, I've never... Like with Heroes, I've never fully finished this. I played through each path once, I could not stomach to do it again.
I watched YouTube videos on it.
Yeah, I'm just too lazy to do it. But I don't think the game is terrible. It's just like... People make it out to be worse than it is, but I think a lot of that's just like, again, the path to getting the true final boss is a fucking nightmare. But if you're just doing a casual play of like 1 or 2 paths, it's like, it's okay. I'm gonna say C tier. Again, I'd still rather play that than Heroes, but objectively, Heroes is the better game. Sonic Rush. This...
Played this either.
You should pick this one up. I don't think it's too expensive, and you can just play it on your 3DS.
Maybe next time I go to GameStop, we'll see if it's not too much.
I'd be surprised if you find it.
Money.
I'd be surprised if you find it in GameStop. You probably have to find both of these off of Amazon or something.
But it doesn't hurt to check the GameStop. I need to trade in my old Switch anyways, so.
I mean, I would ask for help in like selling that on eBay, because you can probably get like $200 to $300 for that thing over selling it to GameStop, where you get like a $50 credit.
My brother was able to trade in his PS5, and I was able to mostly pay for the Switch too. So.
I mean, you do what you want. But anyways, going back to Rush.
I still haven't figured out any. I still need to factory reset it.
Yeah, going back to Rush. This game was kind of like another jump, for going from, you know, advanced to this. Graphical capability. Because, the first Rush was like completely sprite based. This one had like, I don't know if the characters were sprited or not, but the stages were like fully 3D. Well, I mean, they weren't fully 3D. They were like, 3D graphics on a 2D plane. But gameplay wise, this is the first game to introduce the boosting mechanic, but it wasn't really boost to win like some of the later games in the series. So I don't begrudge it for that. This game also had a problem with being a bit short because, again, 6 stages, 2 each, and then a boss, and then there's the true final boss, which is I think all you have to do for that one is get the emeralds and play as both characters. This game also introduced Blaze, which is kind of weird with her because she only appears in this game, Adventure, and then a couple of spin-offs, and then Sonic 06 of all things. Which, that game is kind of funny because it changes her backstory almost, but at the same time it's almost also like a prequel for her story in Rush. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah.
Pretty sure a lot of Sonic 06 is canonized, considering it's fucking erased from the timeline, literally.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but...
No, the characters don't even, like, fully remember it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I wish they'd kind of make up their minds with that, but either way, like, it's just kind of funny,
I think
like...
they have made up their minds, it's not fully canon.
They need to, like, do better than that, though.
Remember it.
Anyways.
Watch Tales Trip episode to explain it.
Anyways, where was I going? Oh yeah, one thing I do have to complain about this game is the fact that the boss uses the 3D methodology, in which case you can only hit them once, and then you have to wait for them to expose themselves again, which, for some bosses, is not that big of a deal. For others, it's pretty fucking annoying. The stage design is pretty good for the most part. I will say that Sonic's side of the stage is better than Blaze's because, number one, the music is for the most part pretty decent, but her versions of the tracks are kind of blah, in my opinion. So usually when I replay this, I just play it as Sonic and then stop. But it is a pretty solid 2D platformer. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I would say a high D for that one. 06.
I've only for Rush. I have seen the beginning of it be played.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember much because it's been a while since I've seen it, but...
Well, I mean, if I had to compare it to something you have played, it's like kind of like playing the 2D section of like something like Forces. Just not as like, you just can't rely as heavily on the boost as you can in that game.
I beat Sonic Forces without even using the boost, like, except it's the specific boost section, so...
Well, either way.
Because I literally thought you could only use... I only thought you could use boost in those specific sections.
Nah. But anyways, Sonic 06. Rather infamous in the community. I will say the people that call this...
I still want to play it.
See, here's the time where I can say this game actually is a lovable mess. And it is a mess. I won't just try to deny that. But this game is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. It is a broken piece of shit as far as its stability, unfortunately, because you will fall through the ground, you will get sent flying in directions you didn't mean to go to, and then there's the infamous loading screens.
Yeah. Bro, someone literally freaking beat Adventure 2 within the loading screens for this game.
I've heard the PS3 version is worse, but from my experience, it's not that bad. Like, I saw that Re-Res episode where they just went over this thing, and I'm just like, it's not as bad as you guys are making it to be. Just in general, because like the game does have its redeeming qualities. I will say the story is dog shit, and there's no saving that. But I will say I appreciate the fact that they actually tried to write a complicated, well, not complicated, but more complicated than the usual Sonic story. It's just, again, wasn't executed well. I will take that over like something like Colors, where the story is like barely there and it just relies on shitty millennial writing. Um, there's that infamous kiss scene, which I don't think it's as big a deal as people make it out to be, because it's not bestiality if he's like an actual anthropomorphic furry.
Yeah. Like, I know some parts of the fandom, like Human and Mobian. I know they're not called Mobians anymore, but I don't give a fuck.
I honestly prefer Mobian as well.
Yeah. I know lots of people don't really like those ships. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know. Like
they're like basically almost the same. It's just the Mobians have animal features and sometimes have powers.
Yeah, like
they're almost basically the same. I wouldn't
go that far, but again, they're like, the main thing is like
probably have slightly different anatomy, but I mean
they're intelligent and they can consent. Therefore, it's not bestiality. Yes. And really, again,
at least though, she's just a fucking corpse.
Yeah, well, you know the reason. It wasn't.
Corpse.
Yeah, but it wasn't for sexual reasons. So like, that was more like, I'm pretty sure that was more of a goodbye kiss than anything else.
Yeah, but that's still a goddamn corpse.
Steven, still, that scene was cringe, not illegal.
Yeah.
So yeah, the story was dog shit, but that being said, one thing that I do like about it is the cutscenes. The actual CG cutscenes, not the in-game ones. The in-game ones are not good. The actual CG ones are actually pretty well animated.
Yeah.
I don't like Robotnik's redesign.
Yeah.
The other characters look fine, but Robotnik is just no. I don't like the fact that
I kind of like it, kind of hate it.
I don't like how the humans just in general are. This is like a problem I had with Adventures. That started with Adventure, but at least with Adventure 1, they were more cartoonish. The Adventure 1, they look like anime characters. But from 2 onwards, they look like realistically proportioned humans. And just like, I kind of preferred Sonic when there weren't humans, but if we're going to have humans, don't make them realistically proportioned. And this game was probably the worst offender about that. But again, to go to the loading screens, it's not that bad if you just play the main story and don't do side quests unless you absolutely have to. Like, just do not do the side quests. They're not fun, and they will make you have to do loading screens a hell of a lot more than you need to. So if you're just playing through the main story and that's it, the game is like, can be enjoyable at times. Like, there are some decently designed stages. The high-speed sections suck anus, but there's only like 4 in the whole game. So, you know, you can get through them and just
There's a blooper left in the game.
Yeah, I know. The other 2 stories are kind of pointless. Well, Shadow's story is kind of pointless, but I get why Silver's is there. But when I replay this game, I just play as Sonic and just watch the cutscenes for the other 2 and the extras. The final story is notoriously bad, and this is something I will agree with them on. Like, it spawns black holes all over the damn place, and if you go to the wrong... If you, like, have one spawn in front of you, you're just fucked. So you kind of have to remember when they spawn, and then quickly go for the item that resets them. So, and that final boss also sucked ass. And then there's Silver's battle, which, like, the first time you go through that, it's hell, because if you just try to attack him, he just picks you up and throws you. So you have to figure out how to hit him, and that can take a while on your first playthrough, so...
And if you do it against the boundary of the Silver's battle, do against the boundaries, you can either get freaking, launched out of bounds or launched into space.
Yeah, and honestly...
That is funny.
Yeah, like, again, some of the glitches can be fun, but... I don't know. Like, Silver as a character, I didn't particularly care for. Like, I will take Shadow the Hedgehog over Silver the Angsty Teen any day. Like, I get why he's the way he is, don't get me wrong, because of his past, but that doesn't make me have to like him as a character. You know, Blaze, as I said before, is in it, and, like, I feel like this game is a prequel to Rush, but... I don't know.
It's Binty Kid.
It's whatever.
So.
Like, I like the idea that they were trying to essentially make this Sonic Adventure 3. and more specifically trying to be like the first game, but that again, because of the bugs in the loading screen, it's just miserable to go through the adventure stages, which that first playthrough makes kind of playing through this game the worst part, but going back and replaying it and just playing the action stages, I have fun with it. I would love to put this in at least a C, but I don't want to hear the bitching, so I'll just put it in D.
Honestly, at this point, I think most people will agree with you. Like, they're not. It's definitely not as bad as it was when the game first came out.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it did have some of its issues patched, but like, there's still a lot to remain.
I think you can safely put it in the C.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna. I can't really objectively justify it, so it's. As much as I would like to put it higher, it's gonna stay there. I do think the game should be remade properly. Like, I know there's that fan remake thing that like got started and died off, and then got restarted again, but it needs a proper remake. Like, maybe even not a remake, just a remaster to fix the bugs in the loading screens would do a lot for it.
Honestly, I think of both. They do it. They have to have like a. I want them to literally have one shitty version and the patched version, just so people could like experience the stupid ass bugs.
I mean, that would be funny, but I don't think they're gonna go for that.
Yeah, but that'd be so fun though.
Yeah. Anyways, Rush Adventure, sequel to Rush.
Never played it either.
I didn't care for this one. There's a lot of tedious shit you have to do between the stages. Like, it's not. It's kind of like 06 in that regard, but like the fact that you have to find materials is just irritating. I don't like the whole Pirates in the High Seas setting, and honestly, the main villains also are just like, I don't like them. That being said, most of my issues are like for the stuff outside of the stages, but even the stages themselves are like, they're alright, but they're not that good. The boss fights are a little bit better than Rush 1, but not by much. The soundtrack is definitely weaker than Rush. This game introduced Marin the Raccoon, and I'm pretty sure that's what her name is anyway. And she has not appeared ever since. She's pretty much a non-character.
She's in the Olympic Games as like a referee, I think.
Yeah, I know she's appeared in something else, but like, she's basically non-existent.
Poor little girl.
Like, I didn't hate her, but like, at the other time, it's like, you are just like, bland character the character. I don't know, this game just like, this is the problem with this game, it just makes me feel nothing. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't enjoy it. So, I guess like a middle C for that one. It doesn't help that it really didn't do much to fix Rush's flaws either, it just kind of makes them worse. Unleashed. This is kind of an interesting game because there's two things to be said about this one. Number one, most people hate half the game and like half the game because some people like the day stages because they're Sonic, and hate the night stages because they're a tedious beat 'em up. Some people like the beat 'em up stages but think the day stages kind of suck because that was had early boosting mechanics. Me, I fall in the former. I like the day stages, but I don't particularly like the night stages, but I tolerate them. When I replay this game, I usually just play the day stages, though, and just skip the night stuff. The other issue is the fact that there are two versions of this game. The PS360 version, and then a Wii PS2 version. The Wii PS2 version is not different enough to justify ranking this game twice, like Colors, but it's different enough to say that that version sucks. Like, it's buggy, and it has chopped up content. Yep.
What I'm stuck playing.
I feel like this game also
not
needs a
even
remake for that
Not even
exact
working.
reason. Yep. Like, the controls are so much worse on that older version, too.
I know there has been I believe a Sonic Unleashed recompiled. There has been a fan-made port of it that on the computer that I'm pretty sure was pretty good, but I don't know where to get it. And I think it was based off the 360 version.
Yeah. I don't... I like, the PS3 version's fine with me. That's the one I have, but... It is kind of true that half the game is, like, good, and half the game is either okay or sucks, depending on how much you hate the other side of it. Like, I get to get it from a creative aspect why they wanted to try that, but, like, I don't know. Now, one thing I do appreciate is the fact that this does have humans in it, again. It does kind of go for that Sonic Adventure 1 vibe of traveling through different hubs. But, the humans in this game, while they're not anime like Sonic Adventure 1, they're also not realistically proportioned either. They're cartoonish, and while Professor Pickle can eat a big one, the rest of the humans are just, like, kind of there. And they don't stand out like a sore thumb as much, since they're not realistic. I actually do kind of like how they did this, because each region of the world has the different theme stages, but they also have different hubs. Granted, not all hubs are evil. Like, Spagonia is the only one that actually matters. The rest of them are a lot smaller. But it is kind of interesting how when you progress the games, the NPCs will have different things to say. And even in the main hub, there's like a couple of subplots going on between some of the characters. It's not something you have to do, but it is kind of a neat extra touch they did. Because, like, they did try with this game. So I will give them that.
Should definitely get back to it once the Wii is back
Yeah.
in the room.
I wish the cycling day and night was a bit more streamlined, but again, I have fun with the day stages, and while I don't like the night stages, I can deal with them. Honestly, I think considering this is the first game that really started to take us out of the dark age of Sonic, which was Sonic Heroes through Sonic 06 / Rush Adventure, with, like, the only good things really in between are, like, Advance 1 and Rush 1. And maybe a couple of the spin-offs, but, like, this is, like, the first time we started coming out of the Dark Age, and while it does have the boosting mechanics, it's not really boost to win yet. So I'm going to say this is a solid B. Right about there seems right. Sonic Colors. I forget, have you played this one?
Yes, but I've not finished it.
Did you play the DS or the Wii version?
Kinda both. I have Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Right. You did have Ultimate. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think my cousin had the 3DS version of Colors. I played a little bit of that, but that was years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, because, like, this one I'm ranking separately because they are two very different games. They follow the same basic plot, although the DS one does bring back some of the side characters for side missions, where the main one does not. So the DS one is...
Let's play of the 3DS version.
Yeah,
though.
the DS one is basically just Rush 3, like, literally, with Colors stages and Colors story. It's actually a pretty fine game on its own. Like, I will say between the two, I will say the main version is better, but... Like, the DS one is definitely worth playing just to, have that Rush 3 experience and see the differences. So, I'm going to just say this now. This is also another good B. Right about there seems right. The main one, though, which I will say right now, Ultimate, that was a piece of shit when it launched. Man, was that thing buggy, but they have patched most of its issues to where it's like, it's fine. I will say the Wii version is still the best way to play it, but, like, Ultimate is fine now. Still not a big fan of them removing the lives, but it's whatever. But back to my main point. The stage design is pretty solid, and actually, no, it was Unleashed. Unleashed was the first one to do the whole swapping between 2D and 3D on the go. But this one was a lot more smooth about it. The story was okay, but like I said before, this game has to like relies less on having an interesting plot, more on just like going ha 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 millennial writing in your face jokes. Which I guess if you like that, it's yeah. I was gonna say if you like that kind of thing, I got a show for you. It's called Sonic Boom. Nah, this one Sonic.
Able to watch the first season.
Yeah, Sonic. Okay, I may be being a bit hyperbolic. Sonic Colors writing isn't that bad. Like, I can play through it and it's whatever. So it had a pretty.
I've seen Let's Plays of this game as well.
Yeah, it ran pretty smooth on the Wii. Like, I don't remember if it was 60 or not. I think it might have been 30, but it was a smooth 30 if it was. And again, it transitioned pretty well from 2D and 3D on the go. The extra VR stages, which I think are playable in co-op, are kind of a nice extra because the main game is a bit short. Each of the different planets is pretty distinct. Each one has a pretty solid soundtrack and 3 different variants of each planet's theme. The boss fights aren't good, but they're not terrible. The final boss can be pretty tedious, but again, it's not terrible. The addition of the Wisps is a bit controversial. I think it was fine in this game. It was an interesting mechanic, and some of the extra sequels that used it, not so much, but it is what it is. It didn't interrupt flow of movement too much. Even the water stage is actually pretty decent in this one. I honestly don't really have a lot to say about it, which isn't a bad thing because, again, there's not much bad about it. It's just like a really solid 3D Sonic game with its main flaw just being the fact that it's short. And it has a pretty generic plot. I'm going to say this one can go in A.
Copyright law in the universe can stop me.
Now we get to another controversial game. Sonic 4. I know this game gets panned on, because of episode 1 mainly. Its movement is pretty fucking janky and it does take some getting used to. I will say that. And I think a lot of people are polarized because one of the 4 stages is literally Labyrinth Zone. But it is not nearly as tedious as the original. I think this game gets more hate than it deserves. It was pretty damn short, and only having 4 stages of 3 each than the final. It was fairly easy, but it did capture that old classic style of gameplay fairly okay. It's just the movement really hindered it. The boss fights were kind of a bit on the easy side, but again, it was going for that old classic style. The music and visuals were definitely also doing this weird thing where they're trying to go between new 3D and old 2D. It was a really weird mishmash of being classic and modern at the same time with its audio visuals, and I'm sure that juxtaposition is probably why part of the reason it got panned. But people act like this is a bad, unplayable game, and it's not. Like, I've played through it multiple times. It's got some design flaws, but it's not particularly buggy. Like, you can get through the game fine. I don't know,
Unless you could be getting stuck on trying to go up a fucking ledge.
I mean, to be fair, that mobile port. This was made in an episodic format, and that was a mistake, because episode 3 never happened, and episode 3 was supposed to give us lock-on mechanics where you could play through the whole game at once, like Sonic and Knuckles in Sonic 3 style. So unfortunately, we just got 2 episodes that are both short and self-contained. For episode 1, I'm going to say C. 2, on the other hand, I think is treated unfairly because a lot of people lumped it with episode 1. And
I think I also played a little bit of this. I don't exactly remember, though.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, a lot of the problems episode 1 had with its movement were fixed in this game. This one actually plays like a proper Sonic game for the most part. And not only that, the stage design is a lot better. It has a better soundtrack. Boss fights are kind of all over the place because the ones against Robotnik kind of suck. The ones against Metal Sonic are actually pretty okay though you kind of have to like that Metal Sonic fight in Sonic CD. But again, the main thing is it's a little bit longer than the first one, but it's still pretty short. And again, this was like clearly the middle game in a trilogy, so it did suffer from that. But again, for the fact that it fixed most of Sonic 4's problems and it turns into a fairly fun game, I'm gonna say a C tier. Or a B tier, sorry. Like, it's like anyone who got turned off with this one, with the episode 1, I really would consider giving 2 a try. And it was pretty cheap, though it might be a bit hard to get a hold of because I think Steam is like the only place you can still get it.
Yes.
Because I know
I have it.
I know episode 1 was on the Wii Shop, and that Wii Shop is gone. I think it was delisted on the PS3, but I could be wrong.
I have no idea about other consoles.
It was Wii,
I have it
PS3,
on
and
Steam.
360 as well.
Yeah, I just have it on Steam now. I don't remember which game, but one of them had an issue with not opening up, so... And I think the fix to make it open was pretty... Like, it's possible the script had the person described it sounded pretty difficult to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I tried to fix it. Yeah, one of the games wouldn't open, so I don't remember which one, so I haven't gotten around to trying them.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, so at the time,
I think it was episode 1 you were having problems with, if I remember right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I also, at the time, I also had, like... The controller I was using was dying on me and not plugging in correctly. Or it wasn't turning on correctly. Like, I have it plugged in, but for some reason, it wouldn't recognize it, and I have a new one now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't know.
I had issues with the controller that it just kind of turned me off of trying to play a lot of the games I have because they are controller based. I mean, I could learn to play on the keyboard, but like, ugh.
Yeah, Sonic Generations. I'm just gonna say we'll talk about Generations in its own when talking about the original, and then when we talk about Shadow, we'll just talk about the Shadow side of it. So this for now, we're just gonna be talking about Generations by itself, based off the original version, which was split into 2 because the 3DS version of it is a completely different, well, not completely different, but it is a different enough game like Colors to where it's its own thing.
I think that technically was my first Sonic game. It was either that or Shattered Crystal.
I thought you said it was Fire and Ice.
Oh yeah, Fire and Ice, my bad. But yeah, it was one of those two. Because I'm pretty sure I nearly beat Fire and Ice. Or 100% it, actually. I'm pretty sure I nearly 100%ed that as a
Yeah, we'll talk about those on the spin-off lists.
I have not been Generations 3DS.
Yeah, I know. You told me. No, this one was like, if Colors didn't bring you out of it, this one out of the Dark Age, this one definitely did. Between the two, I would say I think I like Generations a bit more than Colors. Now that being said, one thing I do have to ding this for is the fact that it's mostly just rehashing previous stages, which I get why this game is essentially a celebration of Sonic's history. With a, unique story to it, which that story was not good, but again, it was kind of following the whole Colors thing and having a bland story just covered with millennial writing. They did bring back a lot of the old characters back after being gone for several games. For better or worse, though most of the time it's just getting hints from them, or like in the case of like Shadow, dueling him for an emerald. most of the stage, I thought it was a pretty cool idea to remix the stages and like having the classic stage. Well, regardless of which, whether or not you're playing them in their original format, they are different than the original stages. So that's that's one thing. But I also like the idea of 3D Sonic going through the classic stages in 3D mode, and classic Sonic playing the 3D stages in 2D. That was a cool idea.
I have a little bit of the original because I did get the original before I got Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Well, I mean,
I have not beaten it.
The generation
I've
side
not
of it
beaten
is the
it,
same game. It's just it has a few quality of life improvement and better graphics.
Yeah. I still have not beaten the actual Time Eater fight though.
Yeah, some of the
Final boss.
yeah, the final boss is kind of tedious. I mean, that's expected. It's a final
so
boss, but
confused with
like,
what I was supposed to do.
yeah, that one took me a few tries as well. But yeah, their selection of stages is kind of all over the damn place. Because like Chemical Plant and like Green Hill are like iconic for those games, but also kind of like going with Sky Sanctuary for Knuckles. Like I get going for a mix of like iconic and niche stages is a good idea, but like still some of the ones are just like, why did you pick that one again? But either way, like playing through all the stages from those different ways and like the ways they weren't originally intended was again a really cool idea for me. But again, I've been with the series for the start, so maybe that's why I appreciated it more. Gameplay wise, again, like it does have the boost mechanics on modern, but it's still not quite to the point of being boost to win yet. Like, you definitely need to do it if you want to get an S rank, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to overuse it if you're just trying to get through the stage for the first time, or actually trying to get the damn red rings, which I like the fact that there's actually a reason to now, because they unlock stuff, number one, and number two, like, I also like the fact that if you unlock music, you can change a stage's music to one of the ones you unlock, so, like, if I don't want to listen to fucking, I don't know, City Escape for whatever reason, I could put on Metal Harbor instead.
And if you don't want to listen to City Escape, I will punch you.
Well, I always put Metal Harbor when I play that stage. But anyways, it's just decent amount of content. There's a decent amount of content, and there's a lot of it does pad it out a bit with the challenge stages, which you need to unlock the bosses, but that's not too big of a deal. But considering how it was such a good celebration of Sonic's history, like it's an A tier. It was a solid game, and I can still go back and play that one. The 3DS one was a bit of a downgrade. Well, more than a bit, it was a downgrade, but obviously I guess they felt that they couldn't handle the modern stuff, which I pressing X to doubt because of the 3DS version of Lost World, but that's another story. But yeah, going through
3DS version of Lost World until like a couple years ago.
Yeah, going through the stages is modern. It's still in 2D, but it's kind of like it kind of does that thing that Forces and Generations does, where it kind of like it's still playing as 2D, but it'll kind of go behind him at times. So it'll kind of go like 2.5D for him, I guess. There's less stages in the 3DS one. The challenges are gone. And unlocked music can't be used to replace the stage's music, which is kind of sucky. That being said, there's still merit to play it because most of the stages are different, apart from like Green Hill and maybe like one other stage. A lot of the boss fights are also different. The music for the stages, the new music for the stages that aren't on the original version are all pretty good. Like, I love the Sonic 3 final boss that plays in the big arm fight. I can tell you that much. So like, you can get it for pretty cheap, and like I can see why people might pass up on it. But it is a unique version, and it does have merit of playing because again, most of the stages and boss fights are different, even if it does follow the same basic story. But considering the fact that it is short and it is a downgrade, I'm going to still say it's a B. Lost World. Have you played this one?
Yes, but I've not finished it.
Okay, so you haven't gotten to the hidden zone then.
I don't remember where I left off. I don't think I've booted it up since I was a kid.
This game got more hate than it deserved.
I have seen Let's Plays of it.
That Metacritic is like way too low. I don't know. Like, I won't say this game doesn't have problems, and it has some weird design choices, but it's still fun to play. And Scott the Wasp can need a big one for his comments on that one, but that's neither here nor there. Like, this game, they were definitely trying to go for like a weird 3D Mario, more specifically Mario Galaxy feel to it. And while it's not something I'd want them to try again, it was fine for a one-time thing. I had fun playing through the stages, even if you aren't going as fast as you do in a normal Sonic game. And again, just the fact that it was kind of fresh, like, you know, I appreciated the game. And the unlockable hidden world's a lot of fun, even if it is just 4 stages. But one of them is so iconic that they actually brought it back in a Cross World in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. There's a decent amount of content to it, and I like the 2 unlockable. Well, they're not unlockable. There were 2 free DLC crossover stages with Nintendo games, one for Zelda and one for Yoshi. Those are fun.
I know about the Zelda one. I've not played it though.
Yeah, they're both pretty fun. The bosses are definitely the weakest part of it. And honestly, the story itself is okay, but the Dead 6 are just ugh. Oh man, I hate those motherfuckers. Not only are their
people do.
Not only are their character design absolutely hideous, but their personalities is just unbearable, as is their voice acting. It's just like you could like kick them out and just dealt it with generic enemies that Robotnik was controlling. It would have been a better story. And plus, they kind of undoing the whole like Robotnik sacrificing himself and maybe having a bit of character growth, because as he says, he's a complicated guy. And just undoing that at the end just kind of like ruins the story. So I don't know. Like, if you're playing this game for the story, don't do it. But if you're just like playing it, it's worth a playthrough just to play a different kind of Sonic game. It's good. It's not great, but it is good. Also B.
Yeah, the Zeddy have the Billy Six have like a bigger role in the Metal Virus arc of the IDW comics.
Yeah.
They are better there.
And I know 2 of them come back. One of them comes back in Forces, and 2 of them come back in Racing Crossworlds as well. But
Zavok.
yeah, and although Forces, they're pretty much non-existent as a character, though.
I mean, Forces, they're holograms.
Yeah. Sonic Mania. This was a throwback that everyone wanted. Like Generations, it was kind of a celebration of Sonic's history, but with a story that was kind of a prequel to Forces. See, I was fine with the whole throwback, doing remixing stages and Generations, because that game literally was a celebration. This game wasn't as much. So I do kind of have to ding it for the fact that only 4 of the stages are new. Now, don't get me wrong, the remix stages aren't like exactly the same, and they do, especially in the second stage, do change them up. So that is the only reason it's not going into S tier. But this is kind of like the game us 2D fans were waiting on. Besides that point, because like, holy shit, does it look good? It has solid music. The stage design is excellent, even, you know, like, for the most part, even though a lot of it is copying Homework, more or less. And just like playing through a smooth 2D game is just like, why is it taking you this long to make this? You know, classic boss design, you know, it had both. It had both a new special stage that was kind of like the Sega CD stages, and then it had bonus stages for getting medals that were the red sphere stages from 3K. The selection of stages is again questionable, but probably a bit more iconic than what Generation selected. Like, honestly, I just can't think of this thing other than it's just like an excellent 2D Sonic game that's like completely classic, being sprite based as well. If I am going to criticize anything other than the fact that, you know, it's mostly remixed stages, the second the canyon level isn't that good, and the final level is a nightmare. Well, not a nightmare, it's not that bad, but Titanic Monarch sucks. Like, there's no getting around that. That stage sucks. But other than that, it's an excellent game.
I accidentally deleted my save file for this game
That,
a while ago. And I have not played it since.
well, where do you feel this one should go?
A.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm going to say it's... You know what? I'm going to say it's like right above CD, because it doesn't have some of the jank CD does. And...
I still have no idea how I managed to delete my save data.
Yeah. Now I
Like, I did it in the game. It was like through the Switch or anything. It was in the game. I'm like, I was messing around with the settings. I think I was trying to get to activate debug mode.
Yeah.
And yeah, I deleted my save instead. And I just have not touched it since. I think I did play it one time, but I have not gone back to it.
Oh, well, now we turn the floor over to you for a game that you've got some opinions for.
Yes, I like forces. And I have gotten fucking harassed for saying such things.
Which, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's Sonic Amino.
I mean, Mino's dead, but, like, still, like, everyone has their guilty pleasures.
Yes, I love forces. I think I got all the S ranks. I got all the red rings. Yeah, I love this game. It was my favorite until Shadow Generations. And honestly, it is still a top 3 for me. I know it has its shortcomings and stuff. The story's mid. But I just had so much fun playing this.
I mean, you're also going to have memories for it because, like, this was Baby's first 3D Sonic game.
Yeah,
Much like how Sonic 2 was Baby's first Sonic game, period, for me.
Dreams of Fast Solutions played.
Now, my Sonic Forces, I also agree it gets shit on way more than it deserves. However, I don't think it's a good game. It's not a bad one. It's just okay to me. Because, like you said, the story kind of sucks. Like, they had a good premise of, you know, Robotnik, like, taking over and Sonic pissing off for a while. The problem was the fact that he pisses off for a total of, like, 2 stages.
Literally, there's a scene where, like, okay, we're not going to find Sonic. He's dead. We have to do something. We can't keep looking for him. Next scene, guys, I found Sonic.
Uh-huh.
Sonic's alive.
So it's like, what the fuck was the point of the whole Robotnik already one thing and Sonic's gone? And there's another thing, like, the fucking Avatar. I don't have a problem with the Avatar existing. It was blatantly obvious the reason they did it was the appeal for the DeviantArt crowd, but we're not going to go there. But the problem is, like, the idea of the Avatar is just being, like, they could have made it interesting in which this character has to ingratiate themselves with the main characters and maybe let you spend time to get to know them, but, like, the problem was, it's like, as soon as you get there, you're everybody's best bud and everybody's last hope. Even though it's quite obvious that there are other seasoned veterans there, including the actual characters. And the other thing, they just didn't do that. Like if you had to kind of work your way through the ranks to get their respect, that could have been interesting because it could have showed you a different side of these characters. We only see the side where Sonic sees, where most of them either have a like-hate relationship with him or fawn over him. But they didn't do that. They had an opportunity, they didn't do it. That's the main problem I have with the Avatar. And that, and like once Sonic meets him, it's like, hey, you're new, you're my best friend now. It's like, really, nigga? I don't know. It's like, I'm probably making a bigger deal out of it than like it really is, because at the end of the day, it is a Sonic game, and plot's never been its strong point. But they had potential. But into more stuff that actually matters, my problem with Force is twofold. The first is the fact that it's, when you're playing as Sonic, it is very much boost to win. Like, you don't have to do it, but...
Yeah, like Kid V, who didn't even know it was an option.
But if you want to clear the stages efficiently, you kind of have to. Unless you, like, really abuse the daily challenges and get, like, 3x modifiers for your score, in which case you're practically guaranteed an S rank. But,
again, I got all the S ranks.
I do appreciate the fact that there
stage.
is a reason to get S ranks, because they unlock Avatar gear, so I'll give them credit for that. The SOS system was fucking stupid, though. It's pretty useless.
Yeah.
I don't mind...
I'm pretty sure I almost got almost all the achievements in that game. I think I'm missing a few classic Sonic ones, but I just literally don't understand how I'm supposed to do them.
I mean, for me, the classic Sonic is like the best part of the game, but like even he has like the other like serious problem I have is like all of the stages are bite-sized and meant to be finished in like 1 or 2 minutes. And like I get there's 30 fucking stages, but like I don't like getting into a stage and then just immediately ending, especially since like, there's a pretty expansive soundtrack to it, but like most of the time you only hear like one track per stage, and when you clear the damn stage in like 1 or 2 minutes in your first try, it's just like, okay, well, guess I'm not listening to that again, apart from the chemical plant, because that's where most of the SOSs are for some reason. That and the pyramid. Like, I want to like this game. I do. There are some... I don't hate playing it. And there are times I'm actually enjoying it. Like, I actually do like, again, the chemical plant stage. But the only stages that are really memorable are the chemical plant, Arsenal, pyramid, and that's mostly because the first half of it's been mean to death, and the second half of it is fucking tedious. And maybe the 2 Death Egg escape stages. That's about it. And I guess you can remember the end stages because you're literally having the sun dropped on you, but...
And null space.
Yeah. And there's another thing. Like, fucking... the main villain in this game. Ugh. He is annoying. It's like, I get it. You got your shit pushed in. You don't gotta keep rattling on about it, pal.
Yeah.
Granted, you only really see that if you play the Shadow episode, but still.
Which I have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've also S-ranked all 3 stages. I love this game, can't you tell?
Uh-huh. I mean, I've S-ranked... Well, I didn't do it for the Shadow stages, but I did S-rank the main game myself. But, I don't know, like... Again, I want to like it. There are good things about it, but there's just way too many problems that are just baked into the core design. Like, I don't even hate playing as the Avatar that much. Like, I like the idea that you can customize them with different attack patterns, but it's just like, okay, well, that's fun, but there's this other character called Sonic the Hedgehog that will completely negate the need for weapons. But it is what it is, and for me...
It is fun to swing around with the grapple hook.
For me, I would say it's like a low C at best. But considering your opinions, I'm willing to compromise and put it into a B. Low B. That's as high as I can objectively go. I'm sorry. And I'll probably already get comments for doing that as it is.
Bro, I'll get fucking. I'll probably also get harassed for saying that I love horses.
Anyways, going on to Frontiers. This is a game I also have some opinions on because this game I think is overrated.
It's still really good.
See, my problem is like, as soon as I got to playing this, it's just like, wow, this literally just to be Breath of the Wild with Sonic painted on. There's like so much of Breath of the Wild's like design you can see in this one as well. It's like I can see the desire to have made an open world Sonic game. It's not the direction I would want to go, and I would be a hypocrite for saying, you know, this game existing is a bad thing, considering I defend Sonic Lost World for the same reason. So I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It's just more of like a game I don't like because it's not for me. Plus, it does have some of the some objective problems that open world games has, in which like it's empty and there's way too much collectibles that just end up making the game a checklist when you're in that open world. That being said, I will give the game credit for being able to get around that open world fairly quickly. The other problem I have is the cyberspace stages. While these are fun, it has the same design problems that Forces did, in which they're bite-sized and meant to be cleared in 1 or 2 minutes. And there's probably even less reason to replay these cyberspace stages because the red rings are piss easy to find in most of them.
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure I'm still missing a lot of them.
I didn't care for the Titan battles. Because a lot of the time it was just like, there were too many fucking QTEs.
It was so fun, man.
I mean, again, maybe it's just me because, like, the QTEs. And it felt like it was just like, if you run out of rings, it's because your dumbass didn't max them out before going into the fight. So if you go, like, do that beforehand, it's just like almost an auto win. So I did not care for the boss fights. The soundtrack also committed a bit of a sin because, like, you know, most of these games, as Sonic is known to have good soundtracks, this one was kind of bland. And like I said before that, like, when I was playing Generations, like, one nice thing is that you can replace the main soundtrack with stuff you unlock, and well, I ended up using the shit out of that because the open world music was really bland. The cyberspace ones was better. I do like some of the cyberspace tracks. Like, I could listen to, like, the first two, like, Cyberspace 1-1 or 1-2 all day. And the Titan battles also did have some pretty good tracks. It's just, again, the open world sections were just, like, boring as far as the OST goes.
I think they're good at the game. Imagine hearing them live. Oh my god, they're so good.
I can see why. I could see a live concert being able to do a lot with that.
Sonic Symphony Orchestra is so fucking good.
I don't know. Like, again, my problem with this game is, again, like, number one, it has issues from Sonic Forces that weren't addressed. And number two, it's just, I did not want an open world Sonic game, especially one that plays like Breath of the Wild. I would personally put it in as, like, the top of C, maybe the bottom of B. Where do you think it should go?
A.
So, I'm not putting it at A because we disagree, but we'll say right about there. High B.
Okay, that'll work.
Now we come to the last two. I played all three of these recently, but Superstars I finished a couple days ago. I finished the main game and then played through Trip Story, and then the final boss, which I did yesterday. Well, I say final, I mean the true final boss, which I did yesterday. This is... It's funny they call it Superstars. This honestly could be Sonic 5. Because this very much feels like what Sonic 4 should have been. It kind of goes for the same thing, where it's very much a classic throwback Sonic game, but using more 3D-esque visuals. and a bit more of a modern soundtrack, though it is trying to replicate. It was clearly trying to replicate a bit of the Genesis sound chip to a bit with its drums, which I'm fine with. But the soundtrack was kind of all over the place. There were some tracks that were good. There were some tracks that were like forgettable, but it is one of the better ones. Gameplay wise, like again, this is what 4 should have been. It's smooth. Quite butter. Honestly, I played this. I heard the Switch 1 version of this was kind of, which is the one I have, was kind of, what's the word? Inconsistent with its frame rate. Like it would target 60, but it would dip constantly. On the Switch 2, it was buttery smooth. So, playing a smooth 2D Sonic game is exactly what I wanted. Now, between this and Mania, I will say that Mania is the better game, but I have a bit more of appreciation for this one because it's, completely unique. Where this game fails, though, is the boss fights. They suck. They kind of went for more of a 3D, again, the 3D design philosophy like they did with Rush. And the final boss is probably unseated the Egg Emperor as being the fucking worst thing I have ever dealt with. I literally spent an hour fighting Sonic's final boss. It would have been about half that, but I got close to killing it once, then I fell through the fucking floor. And when I say fell through the floor, I don't mean I fell into a pit. I literally fell through the solid floor. I was pissed. So after another half hour of being pissed off at it, I managed to kill the bastard. Played through the game as Trip, and thankfully her final boss isn't nearly as bad. But playing as Trip was kind of interesting because it is clearly meant to be a hard mode, but her moveset does. The stages were changed a bit to accommodate it, so you do have to utilize her moveset. But my main problems with the game is it is short and the bosses suck, but other than that, it's pretty much a smooth throwback. That's kind of the game I've wanted for a while since Sonic Advance 1. So what about?
Finished it.
Yeah, but what do you think about what you've played?
Liked it. I also like how the emeralds give different powers.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting touch.
Yeah, it was kind of gave more of a reason to collect them to see what different powers they give you.
Yeah, I didn't really use them that much apart from the meteor and occasionally the slowdown, but yeah, it was kind of interesting. Just the fact that they even tried that was kind of a nice step forward.
Yeah. I think one of the special stages to get the one of the special stages, I don't remember if it was to get the emerald or not. I think the clip is somewhere on my channel. It's the one where you have to sort of aim Sonic as he's falling to something, and you have to grab onto it almost.
Right.
Yeah, I almost grabbed on. I was trying to find the way to the goal. I think it was an emerald. I was trying to find a way to it. And previous platformer ground was kind of short of the it was a bit far away from the end. But I fell inside it. The way I fell was kind of slightly near it, so I was able to grab it before just falling to my death, which I was so happy about.
Yeah. I don't know, I would say this goes right between Colors and Generations. It's got some problems, but it is a pretty solid game. Now we come to Shadow Generations, and when I say this, we're specifically talking for the Shadow side of it, not the remake part. So how do you feel about this one?
My favorite game, I love it, S tier.
Want to say a bit more about it?
The story was really good. I definitely like gives better story to Shadow than from what I've seen of 05. Shadow 05.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot
But
more
yeah.
than Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes, I had fun with the stages. I think the Doom powers were pretty fun to use, except like the squid one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
Final boss was really fun too. I just had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, I honestly had a good time with this one too. Um, it does follow it, like, I mean, it is part of Generations, so it explains why. It follows Generations pretty well in its design philosophy, and again, since Generations is a good game, that's a good thing here. But it does incorporate Shadow's moveset even before you get the powers pretty well. So, like, this is what I would have wanted for a Shadow game, not what we got with Shadow the Hedgehog. Because, like, this plays like... Honestly, this plays pretty close to how Shadow stages were in Sonic Adventure 2. And that's a good thing. There are some decent remixes of the tracks from the games that are represented. I don't like the fact they picked fucking Kingdom Valley from 06. Of all the stages, I hate that stage.
I had fun playing with it.
Though they did a good job of getting rid of the tedium from 06, so I hate the fact that they picked that stage, but they did a good job of making the stage actually enjoyable. So I'll give them credit for that. Other than that, decent stage selection that represents the games he's in, although I do find it a bit weird that there's no stage from 06. I mean, not 06, Shadow the Hedgehog. It's literally just Sonic Adventure 2, Heroes, 06, and
Forces.
Forces, and then Frontiers, which was kind of weird, because I don't think he's in Frontiers at all, unless he's in the expansion story. I never finished the expansion story.
He is not.
Oh yeah, fun fact about Frontiers I forgot to bring up. Oh, did it? Fun thing about Frontiers though is like when I was playing the expansion story, when I got to that part you play as Knuckles, when the vocals started kicking in with his music, I was like, oh, here we go again. I was expecting you to be like, ba-dum, 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 nigga. But no, it was like turned into a K-pop song. I was like, what? I guess Knuckles hasn't... I guess we're not pretending Knuckles is black anymore. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I don't know why they picked Frontiers instead of 06 for that. I mean, if they wanted to put Frontiers in there, they could have added one more stage and then put a Shadow the Hedgehog stage in. But it is what it is. Anyways, like, I agree, this is one of the better stories from Sonic. It picked up pretty well from both Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, and gave him a pretty good closure to his story. I don't know if they'd want to continue giving him a story. Like, I've heard this is supposed to be like a closure to that, but if it is, it's a pretty good one. It was nice to see them give a bit more character to Gerald Robotnik, and Maria for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing I did actually appreciate for Shadow the Hedgehog. I liked the flashback stages to the arc. Those stages were actually were pretty well appreciated. Because you did get to see like stuff that happened before Maria shot him off into space.
Yeah, I also like the journal you got. Gerald Robotnik's journal.
Oh, did you get the physical one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the physical one for that too. But yeah, like...
Although you also do get the journal pages in the game. It is nice to have the, like, physical thing. That is so cool.
Yeah. I don't have that many complaints other than the fact that it's too short and the squid ability sucks.
There's like one stage I liked, the squid ability worked pretty well, and I think it worked pretty well in the final, but other than that...
Yeah, the final boss wasn't too big of a deal.
I think it's just they don't explain... The game doesn't really explain well how to use it.
It doesn't, especially when you're using it to grapple, Because getting some of the collectibles in that form sucked, and that's part of the reason why I didn't like get every single thing in the open section part of it, which is another thing I'd like to address. I kind of understand why they like went from an open world instead of like the 2D thing they did in main generations, but I think the open world in this was done better than Frontiers because it's more condensed. It's kind of like what they did for Bowser's Fury, and that going from Bowser's Fury compared to Odyssey, it's more condensed and there's less bullshit you have to do. So, like, if they were going to go for open world Sonic again, which, like, developer interviews hinted that they're going to do it again, I hope they take more from the hub world from Shadow Generations more than they do Frontiers. Because, like, I was pretty okay for most of the open world stuff with the hub world and Shadow Generations. I'm not going to say it's an S tier, but I definitely say it's an A, so we'll say it goes right between Mania and CD.
Also, the Dark Beginnings animation before the game came out. Oh, that was so pretty.
Yeah, the game does have some pretty decent cutscenes too. But yeah, that's not quite where I would put everything, but considering like you have opinions on some of the later games, I think this is like a pretty decent list. Definitely has a few controversial entries, but it's whatever. I'm not one of those types that's gonna follow every fucking YouTube trend, because like then what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is us signing off.
Okay, I drank too much water. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.